guitar on one of these videos, so it was good. It was good, man. So, woo! What's up, gang? How you guys doing today? It is a lovely Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock my time. I don't know what the fuck it is your time because I don't live where you live. So, but whatever. Currently, it is 63 degrees here in beautiful, lovely Ohio. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but okay. We're gonna get right on into these questions. Is there any correlation between what you think is fine-tuning and making a better material and gained exposure from said work? I think it's yes and no. Obviously, if you do bigger videos or nicer videos or whatever it is, or whatever you're putting out, whatever kind of content you're putting out, if you're making better versions of that product, you would think that it should get more exposure or would get more exposure. And that's not always the case because there's a lot of videos that are doing like great and are terrible, shaky cell phone videos. I mean, they're really bad, but they get millions and millions and millions of views. And I think it's partly like the organic feel of the whole thing. I think that's a thing now because people like how, like they enjoy how shitty it looks. And I don't know, I've done videos where it's like that. You know, maybe it's like a cell phone on a selfie stick trying to do something like that, and it gets a ton of really good views. And then we've done stuff that's like very nice and has gotten shit views or shit response, whatever it may be. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what's what. You would hope that the more work you put in to the product that you're trying to put out, the better it's going to be received and the more views it's going to get. You did a lot of work, you would like to kind of reap those benefits at some point. You know, and it sucks to see people who made like a terrible little shitty video and it gets millions of views and stuff like that. It kind of pisses you off a little bit. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. This is probably one of my favorite questions that I've had in a while. And it's, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a cinder block? I don't know, but I'm willing to find out, I guess. Yeah. Next question. This is kind of like a long version of a question, but I'll just give it to you simply. He wants to know what keeps my gears turning. I'm not really sure because I like to work. I like to work on a lot of different things. I don't like to just sit still. It bugs me. It makes me feel worthless. Okay, if the bar is shut down and I can't do that, and my other business that I own, I actually own a digital marketing agency. The companies and the businesses that I deal with, they're pretty much shut down now too, so I can't do anything there. I just take all that time and then I'm kind of reinvesting it in what I'm doing with the band stuff. So trying to do more work here. So I just really replace one thing for the next thing. What keeps me going? I don't know. I mean, I just try to get up and I try to be farther along than I was yesterday or better than I was yesterday or something like that. I just have a natural drive to just try to get shit done. You only have X amount of time on this big blue bitch, so you might as well put it to good use while you can. Are there any local bands that I'd like to collaborate with? Yes. Actually, it just came up 2 years ago yesterday, I think. I made a Facebook post like a long time ago, obviously 2 years ago, where I asked if there was any people in bands or anything like that wanted to write a song with me, or if they would like to collab on a song with me, I guess. And there are so many people that I know that are just amazing songwriters or singers or musicians in general, and I think that they should be heard. And I would love to be able to facilitate that in any kind of way. I'm one of those guys where like, I work without care about, I don't care who's watching. You know what I mean? I have things to do and I'm gonna do that shit. Regardless of who says what, I don't give a shit. If you're in my way, I will walk around you. And so, but also, I love to support friends of mine or people that I know who are also musicians or literally have anything like that. if you're a musician or you're an artist or anything like that, I try to support that in any kind of way. And like I said, there's a million people that I know who are just so good that maybe don't have a proper channel to get it out or anything like that. And I would love to be able to somehow, some way, sometime facilitate those. So yes, absolutely. Why doesn't Jon sing a few tunes? Well, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you what I think, but Jon can answer it better. Here's my take on it. Because he doesn't want to. And he's not really, he's not the singer, but I would love for Jon to do more backup vocals like he did on the last record. And we're trying to work our way into him doing some more backup stuff live. But I don't know. Jon?
No reason, but the simple answer, I guess, is I've never really had to. In any band I've been in, the vocal positions were always filled, whether it be lead or backing vocals, by singers who, at least I thought, were better at singing than I was. So as far as me singing in the future, it's been discussed, it's been talked about. I think on this next record we'll try to maybe analyze the harmonies a little bit, see if some songs can fit a two-part harmony or not. Backing vocals, we'll see. It's been discussed, it's a possibility, but nothing's for sure.
Thanks, Shawty. What goes into the process of setting up a tour? How do you figure out the places to go? Who do you contact, etc.? Okay, so you and your band, you have to sit down and you have to calendar out the days where you can be gone. Whether it be a weekend, 3-4 days, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. We've done, a month plus. So, and it's hard. It's very difficult. It's difficult on everything. I've explained that in other videos. It's very difficult. You mark your days out on a calendar, and then you have to just sit down and ask yourselves, where do you want to go, but also versus where can you go? Where have you been? So obviously, if you've never really played farther than like an hour from where you live, you're not going to be gone that long. You're probably going to be somewhere in the tri-state area or something like that. It's only going to be a couple days. You don't really want to risk going out for weeks and weeks at a time when you have you got no sway anywhere else. So don't waste your time and don't waste your money. If you've never played outside of town or outside of your region, don't drive all the way across the country, because nobody's going to give a about you. And even when you have, a lot of times, nobody's going to give a about you. That's the hard truth. It sucks. That's the way it is sometimes. Pick your region. If you're going to be gone for, let's say, 2 weeks, okay, from what we have found out, Sundays and Mondays are pretty much trash. So you're probably not going to play on those days. So Tuesday to Saturday is your kind of play schedule. You want to play as much as you possibly can, and that way you hope to make as much money as you possibly can in that amount of time. So if you're gonna do 2 weeks, block out on a map a region where you can cover 2 weeks worth of ground, and you want at least 3 hours in between locations. So right now we are in the northwest corner of Ohio. In 3 hours I can get to Cleveland, which is literally pretty much straight across to the other side. So that's plenty of space. You can get pretty far in 3 hours. So you kind of want to go, okay, well, we're going to leave Monday. By Tuesday we'll be here. Here's your drive to the next place. So you find your next place, 3 hours, 3 hours. I try to do like a loop of some kind, something that makes sense. I don't do this here, back and forth. That's stupid. My opinion, that's so dumb. Because why having to keep driving back and forth across the same place you already went 20 times? It's dumb. So I will find major cities along that route. And then I'll find usually a city within an hour of that route as well. And then there is a particular website that I used to use for life, man, I can't remember what it's called, but it had all of this great data. You could go on there, pick your city, and it would bring up every venue applicable within 50 or 100 miles or however far you wanted to set. And it had the contact information, and it had, booking emails, and it had, the phone number, and if they provided sound, all those things. It had all this great information on it. So I used to use it. And so if I wanted to play in Cleveland, I would find 10 venues in Cleveland, and then I would find a handful of venues within the hour of Cleveland. So I'm sending 10 emails to venues in Cleveland alone. Then it's the other cities as well. So you got to kind of cast a big net, and hopefully one of them will snag you up. That's pretty much it. So you do that, and if you can set agreements up with them to pay you whatever you can get paid, a lot of times they're not going to pay you shit. A lot of times they're not even going to answer you, and that part sucks because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work for almost nothing sometimes. But I still love touring, so hopefully we can get back out there soon enough. If you could make a record with any musician or band, who would it be? If you're talking like, if I could be in any band or something like that, then I have no idea. Probably Mastodon, if I had to like join a band or like be in the recording process of some kind with any band. Probably Mastodon. Those guys are unreal. Those guys, watching their stuff and listening to their records and watch how they make records makes me want to write so much better music. I don't know if I can, but I mean, watching them it's insane. Those guys are an amazing band. Now, if I could pick like a producer or maybe like an engineer, God, honestly, and don't hate me because of this, but Bob Rock, simply for what he did with Metallica's Black Album, that shit it's an amazing record, and I think it still sells thousands of copies a year, and it's been 30 years since that thing come out. So Bob Rock, I would love to have, I can't remember his last name, Ehrman, something or other, I can't remember his last name, but that guy is like mixing and mastering and engineering a lot of like current metal records and stuff like that, and his stuff is amazing. And an old school one, I would love to work with like Ted Templeman, who did the very first few Van Halen records, and Terry Date, who was doing the Pantera records, early 90s Pantera records. That would be sweet. The last question is going to be, what's in my live rig signal chain? And I believe I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've done it in a video, but my pedal board is right over there, and I'll actually put a picture somewhere like here of what's going on in my pedal board. It's pretty simple. I don't keep a lot of stuff. I use a Furman SPB8 powered pedal board, and it's awesome. I actually bought it used for like $120, and I got it like a day before our tour started a long time ago, and I love it. It's great. So I use the Furman SPB8. I use a Boss NS2 noise suppressor. I'm using the Horizon Devices Precision Drive. I don't really use it for its overdrive, honestly. I use pretty much all my amps overdrive. I just use it to push the tubes and just give me a little bit, tighten it up a little bit. And it works great for extended range guitars and low tunings like we're doing. So it's awesome for that. I'm using a Korg Pitch Black tuner. I'm using a Boss Harmonist pedal, which is like a staple in some of the sound effects that I do. And I really only use it for one thing, and it's the S-Bend feature. And if you've ever seen us live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm using a Morley Mark Tremonti wah, which is great. I've used the Dunlop original Crybabies. I've used the Slash ones. I've used the Dime 535, or no, I'm sorry, the Dimebag Crybaby from Hell. I've used the 535Q wah. I've used the original Morley wah. I've used the Power wah. the Morley Power Wah, and now I'm using the Morley Mark Tremonti wah, which is basically like the Power Wah, except it has an optical accelerator to it. That's like the only difference. The Power Wah is awesome, but the power switch to it is not under the pedal like the Dunlop ones. It's off to the side, so you have to click it, use it, click it again, which I got used to. So now this one, I mean, it took me a little bit to get used to it. You use the pedal, and then once you're off, then it's off. So yeah. And what is John using? Hey, again, ask John. John?
So believe it or not, I've always just plugged in direct. I mean, maybe not always, but 99% of the time I've just plugged in direct, right from my instrument to the amp. There's a couple songs, I Am the Harbinger, 1,000 Years, I'll pull out a delay pedal, but for the most part I've always just been direct from the instrument to the amp. You know, less is more, make it simple, you know, do my job, fill my role, play bass. So, yeah.
Yep. So there you have it. Pretty simple setups, you know, nothing insane. We're not using any kind of crazy, you know, none of this MacBook craziness or fractal this or that or the other. I don't know. I don't know how to use most of it, so I'm good with what I have for now, at least. All right, guys, we've reached the end of the video. Like we normally do, here's your motivational segment, and it's gonna be like a quick two-parter. So one is to be goal-oriented, all right? What I mean is write them down and get them done. You can do how we do a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. We write down what we want to get done, and then we do that. I don't care how big or small your goals are, as long as you are actually getting them done. Write down what you actually want to do. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't have to be music, it could be anything. So write it down. I mean, physically write down what you want. It makes it more real and it makes it more honest when you write down what you want to do and the steps on how you want to get it done. All of that shit. Just write it down. Keep it in a journal. I don't care. But it means more when you actually do that. And then put the f***ing work in. That's all you have to do. You have to make those steps. Stop wasting your time. Stop making excuses. Write the shit down, what you want to do. Get up off your ass and go get it done. Nothing is going to come to you. Nothing's going to be given to you. So when the shit don't work out, it's nobody else's fault but yours. And the second part of this is to surround yourself with people who want to succeed as much as you do. That is such an important thing that most people don't do. They surround themselves with losers or people who have no goals, have no dreams, have no aspirations, people who don't give a shit about anything. And those people, you don't have time for them, all right? If you're one of these people who wants to do something with your life, then put people who want that around you, okay? Like that whole thing, like with, surround yourself with great people and you'll achieve great things. That's a real thing. The people who say otherwise are probably surrounded by losers, all right? And they're probably one too. So don't even mess with those people. And if it's the people in your band or if it's the people in a business that you run or whatever it may be, you guys have to be on the same page. Sit down, have a team meeting, have a band meeting, whatever. This is what we want to do. This is how we want to do it. Everybody put your hands in, and that sounds probably stupid, but who gives a shit? Everybody puts in, everybody works, everybody wins, okay? And if you got somebody who's not putting in the work and wants all the benefits, hey, out of here, all right? You don't get both. You either put in the work or get the hell out of here. Trim the fat, get it out. That's my motivational tip for this week. I want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in every single week. I love doing these videos. I love you guys. Please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and make sure you're following us on all the things. I'll put links in the description of everything I've talked about in this video, and I'll put links to all of our stuff where you can follow us online, Facebook, Instagram, everything where you can buy our records and all that stuff too. Wish us good luck because we are really trying to bust ass and get a lot of more recordings and demos and stuff done. So I want to say thank you guys again. Hey, I'll see you next week. Later.